Okay. And so can everybody see, well, I guess don't everybody answer at once, but you should be able to see my browser window here with Twitter open. And so I thought we'd start out with just the very basics and do just a quick walkthrough of how to sign up for Twitter for those of you who don't have an account yet. And I know several of you do have accounts, and so this is really a review, but it should go pretty quickly. And then we'll get to some of the meatier instructional stuff about how to use Twitter. And once we've done that, I'd like to move on to discussing a little bit about what our Twitter storms will look like. And in particular, our Twitter storm scheduled for a week from today, Wednesday the 18th, about the state standards and specifically about our legislative panel on the academic standards. So to start, I'm going to sign up, for a fake Twitter account. I'm just going to make one. I don't need one. I already have one. But I'm going to walk you through the process and show you by actually making an account. So what it says here, new to Twitter, sign up. Great. My name is Rachel F. My email. I'll put in a password. I'm going to say sign up. Okay, and then it asks me for a little more information. It wants me to pick a username. And we'll say AAUW-TN webinar will be our username here. Now there's a little checkbox down at the bottom that says tailor Twitter based on my recent website visits, and I'm not going to do that. I visit a lot of shopping pages. I don't need any of that coming up during the webinar. But if you're interested in doing that, that's an option. And we're going to click sign up. Feel free, by the way, I have everybody on mute again, but if I completely lose you, if you have a pressing question about something that's going on, please feel free to send a question through the text box for questions. Otherwise, if it can wait till the end, we'll have a question and answer session at the end. But I don't want you falling behind, be completely lost. If you have a pressing question, please go right ahead and send it in. The great thing about this webinar is that I can, if you have a technical question, I can show you on the screen what I do. So Twitter has this little wizard that's made to help you set up your account. And it's going to walk us through and just try to get us started. You can skip this if you choose to. You don't need to do this. I could go up to my URL bar right here, my address bar, and just erase this and go back to Twitter. And that would be, on the regular Twitter page. But this is helpful if you've never used Twitter before. It'll give you the option to, add some of your first friends, to start following your first accounts, and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and walk through the wizard. It says, what are you interested in? Not really interested in popular accounts necessarily. Let's say, for AAUW, I'm interested in news and health. Okay. Next. And then it's going to suggest a bunch of people for me to follow. And, really, I don't want to follow all of these. But in the interest of time, we'll just say follow 40 and continue. But if I wanted to take the time, I could go through and say, oh, I don't want to follow the onion and exit, and then just follow 39. And now it wants us to put up a profile picture. And you can skip this step for now if you don't want to put up a picture, but I'll just real quick to show you how it's done. Simply click upload photo. Wait a minute here. And I'm going to choose this picture of me holding my register to vote sign. I'm going to have a nice picture. Go ahead and apply that. And we can continue to the next step. Now it wants to find people that you know. And this is helpful. If you're just getting started out on Twitter, you can upload your email contacts to find people that you know. So I'm going to go ahead and do this just to show you how it's done. It pops up with a little window. I'm going to tell it to use this email address. Yep, except Twitter can have that permission. And we're waiting. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and add all these people because these are people that I know. You know, there's Dia, our public policy chair, and Dr. Paris, president of the Murfreesboro branch. So let's go ahead and add all of these people from my email contacts. And it's setting up my Twitter, and we're done. And now it brings us to the Twitter homepage. This is, as you can see, twitter.com. This is what it looks like when I'm logged in. And real quick, I'm going to confirm my email address so we can get rid of that message at the top of the screen telling me to do so. Come on. Okay, so my account has been confirmed. Thanks. Great. So I can close this other window. Leave this one open now. All right, so that ugly yellow bar at the top is gone. So this is the Twitter homepage. This is your dashboard, if you will. It's your the equivalent to what you see when you log into Facebook. And we have a few different things going on here. Here in the center is your news feed. And this is where you'll see all the tweets from people you follow. And also your own tweets show up here too. And so when I log into Twitter, this is usually the first thing I do is scroll through this and look at what the people I follow have been posting recently. You also have on the sidebar here a little info about yourself. You have this list of some of the hashtags that are trending right now. Over here, it's suggestions of people to follow. Oh, look, I know that guy. I'll follow Gene Kelly. Oh, some more. All right, I won't spend too much time following everybody I know, but Twitter is very helpful that way. Because really, you get the most content out of Twitter by, following the most accounts that post about the things you're interested in. So here at the top, we have the navigation bar. As you can see, right now I'm at home. There's also notifications, messages, and discover. Real quick, check and make sure. Okay. And over here we have a search option, which is great. I use this all the time. And a little miniature icon of me. I hover over and it says profile and settings. This is where information about my profile is. I can click here to go to my page, and we'll do that later. And click down here to change things about my account or to log out. And then over here in the corner is a tweet button. And this is where we'll go to write a tweet. And so we'll just write our first tweet. Hi, I'm just getting my Twitter set up. And we tweeted. It was that easy. So back to the rest of the navigation bar up here. Again, this is the home page. And what it looks like under notifications. See, we don't have any notifications right now because we just signed up. But what will appear here is anytime somebody interacts with you directly. If somebody tags you or tweets at you or retweets, you'll get a notification when somebody interacts with you. It says find mentions, favorites, followers, and all your other notifications here. So yeah, if somebody follows you or favorites a tweet that you write, that'll show up here. And so that's also an important place to check. Whenever you log into Twitter, you want to check your notifications and see if anybody has interacted directly with you, asked you a question. If you have any new followers or any of that. And then next is direct messages. And direct messages on Twitter are a little weird. you'll notice down here that you can send a message to anyone who follows you. So if somebody's not following you, you can't send them a direct message. Instead, you will have to tweet at them, which is public. So these private direct messages are really only useful between you and somebody who's already following you. Somebody's already your friend on Twitter. So I don't use the messaging feature often, but it is there. And then we have Discover. If we click on Discover, it's going to take us to a page where, again, Twitter is doing what it loves to do, trying to help you find content that you'll enjoy. And so here's some tweets. And this is different from the homepage because it's not people you're following. It's people who Twitter thinks you should follow or really popular posts that are circulating right now. And over here, it gives you some more who to follows. And you can go through and find some things here. Who to follow on this menu here will bring up a whole list of recommendations, including AAUW. See, this is great. Twitter's smart. It knows what I want. I'm getting a little slow here. Sorry about that. Oops. Nope. Close that. Find friends. You can go there and here you can search through your contacts again if you have more than one email account or if you didn't do it in the beginning. And popular accounts will take you to, popular accounts. Twitter's just trying to help you find content that's interesting to you. And so this is, whoops. That's what you find on Twitter. That's how we navigate this bar up here. And so now you know how to sign up. I wanted to talk about, who to follow. And again, this searching your contacts is great to help find people you already know. Oh, here I have a notification. David Smolens favorited my tweet. Look at that, my first tweet, and I got favorited. Cool. So I want to talk a little bit about who to follow on Twitter. And the first thing I want to do is show you one of my favorite tricks, which is to find the people who the people you're following are following. If you can follow that. And so I'm going to go here to the AAUW Tennessee account. And I'm going to, this is their page. This is their personal page. I'm going to look at who they're following right here. It says they're following 69 people. I'm going to click on that and see who they're following. And see, this is great. Here's a few of our Murfreesboro branch members, Planned Parenthood Advocates Mid-South, TN Student Success, Rutherford Cable, all great people that I'm interested in following, and Education Commissioner McQueen. And you can, sort of go down the rabbit hole on this. If I wanted to, I could click and see, oh, who does TN Student Success follow? And, find a bunch more relevant accounts that way. But that's a good way to get started, finding accounts that interest you. Find one or two friends and then see what your friends are following. So one of the things that I think is really great about what Twitter allows you to do as opposed to other social media is that Twitter's really based around the idea of the retweet, which means that you're not creating any original content. You're just reposting something that someone posted. And that's what, makes subjects trend. Really, it's what makes posts popular. And so we're going to, here, I'm going to click on Peggy again. Go back. So I'm going to go back to, I'm sorry, my computer is slowing down. We're going to go back to the AAUW-TN Twitter. And Here's some of the things that they've been posting today about the academic standards. Here's a quote from a first grade teacher on Common Core. It just made things richer and meatier, and there's a link to the article. And so I really like this. I'm going to favorite it, and I'm going to retweet it. And what I do then is just click this little green icon here, and it pops up and says, do I want to retweet this to my followers? And I'm going to say retweet, retweet, retweet. And so that's really what's so great about Twitter, I think, is that it's really easy in that sense. You know, all I had to do was just click one button. I didn't even have to write my own statement to show that I agreed with this person and that I'm interested in this topic. So that's really, retweeting is pretty great. And so we're going to go now to our own profile. And how you do that is, again, up here at your navigation bar. You see the little icon of your profile. You can click right here. It says Rachel F. View Profile. And here we are. Here I am. My profile looks a little bit, has a lot more blank white space than the AAUW of Tennessee profile. So real quick, what we'll do is click on this Edit Profile button right here. And we'll add a header photo to make things more interesting. I'm going to choose this great picture of me and my friend Giselle from the Women's March. We'll do that. Yeah, okay. And then you might want to put a couple sentences about yourself here. I'm going to say I'm a recent MTSU grad and AAUW Murfreesboro member. My location as Murfreesboro, TN. But if you wanted to be more broad, you know, I could just say Tennessee, or I could even just say USA. I don't have a website, but if you want to, you can link to your Facebook here, or link to whatever webpage you want. And then you can pick your theme color. We'll just stick with blue. Okay, looks great. I'm going to click Save Changes. And now I have a little bit more customization to my profile here. And so here are the first two tweets that I've made. I've made my very first tweet and got my very first favorite. And then I retweeted something that I found on my feed that I liked. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to try tweeting at somebody, because that's really, you know, one of the greatest tools that Twitter offers us as far as our advocacy goals are concerned. And here I'll show you what I mean. We'll go back to the AAUW-TN Twitter. And you can see, if we scroll down here, ooh, I'm sorry, this software is really slow on my computer. Okay, scroll down. And you can see here that AAUW Tennessee tweeted at Speaker Beth Harwell today and said, support student success, stay the course on the standards, scrap House Bill 3. And so this is what it looks like when you tweet at somebody. And this is kind of, you know, really the meat of what we want to do here is to use Twitter to speak to our elected officials. And that's what it looks like when you do it. This right here is Speaker Harwell's username. And it's a link that I can click on. It has an @ sign before it. I click on it, and here's her profile. We'll go ahead and follow her. But what happens when AAUW Tennessee tweets at her is that she gets a little notification up here under her notifications menu that shows her that AAUW Tennessee said, stay the course on the standards, scrap House Bill 3. And then, so just to show you, you know, how we tweet at somebody, I'm going to move away from Representative Harwell's profile, because I don't want to use her as an example. Instead, I'm going to go, let's see, look at who I'm following here. And I'm going to go to Peggy Swan's profile. I hope you don't mind me picking on you, Peggy. And so what I can do here, when I'm at her profile, you'll see right here, there's this great icon that says tweet to Peggy. And this is just so easy. I just click tweet. And it pops up with her username and the @ as a link, just like you saw before with the tweet to Speaker Harwell. And so it pops up, it's ready for me to tweet right at Peggy. Now remember, everyone can see this. This is public. It's not a direct message. So I'm going to tweet at Peggy. I'm going to say, thanks for joining us on the webinar. Great. Click tweet. And so that's a really easy way to tweet at somebody, is to go to their profile, and there's a button right there for you to do it. But you don't have to be on their profile to do it. Let's see. Let me go back to my home page. And there it is. There's my recent tweet right there. But I can tweet at somebody from anywhere as long as I click the tweet button. But then it comes up blank, and I remember Peggy's username. And I'm going to type that in with the @. The @ means you're tagging somebody. If you might be familiar with that on Facebook, it's the same symbolism too. So thanks also for letting me use you as a guinea pig. We'll tweet that. So that's how you tweet at somebody. There's 2 ways to do it. And that's really, again, the meat of what we want to be doing here is tweeting at our representatives. But there's also a few other types of tweets you can do. We'll go back to our profile here. And so we've made a basic tweet. We've retweeted, and we tweeted at somebody. Now you notice our tweets at Peggy aren't showing up here. What we have to do is click on tweets and replies right here. Because we are tweeting at somebody, it separates them from other tweets. And now we see these 2 show up here. And so that way it just kind of separates conversations from sort of news updates. That's what it does there. So another couple things I can do when I tweet is I can add a photo to a tweet. And so I'll do that. I'll click here. And here I have a photo from Equal Pay Day last year. And I'm going to say, throwback to MTSU AAUW Equal Pay Day 2014. And so I can post this photo and say my 140 words about it. And another thing I can do is tag somebody. And, I happen to remember that Dr. Paris took this photo, and so I'm going to tag her in it. And so now I have a tweet that's composed of both my words, a photo, and a tag of another user. I can tweet that. There it is. There's my first photo tweet. And you can see right here it says Tanya Paris. And if I click on that, it'll take me to her profile. I don't want to do that. Another great way you can use tweeting is to share links. Say I was on Facebook and I came across a great article that I wanted to put on Twitter as well. What you can do is, here's a great article I found about child support and custody myths and facts. So what you can do if you want to tweet that is come up here and paste the link in. And now you'll notice what happens. This looks like a lot of characters. And Twitter only allows you to have 140 characters per tweet. But what it does, if you look down here after typing it in, I have 118 characters remaining. And that'll be the same no matter how short your URL is, your link is, the length of it, because Twitter will automatically shorten it. So what I'm going to do is write, check out these busted myths about women and child custody. Okay, we'll tweet that. And here you can see that it shortened the link, but if I click on the link, it still works and takes me to the full address. And so Twitter will do that automatically for you. It's really easy to share a link. You just copy and paste the URL, very similarly to how you would do if you wanted to share something on Facebook that you found off of Facebook. So here we have, all the basic kinds of tweeting that we can do. And so what I want to talk about next is hashtags, how to use them, what they are. So here you can see in the tweet that I retweeted from Achieve, well, I retweeted it from AAUW Tennessee, who retweeted it from Achieve. We have this hashtag here. It's a link with pound symbol. It says Common Core. Now, this is a hashtag. What a hashtag is a way of categorizing your tweets and posts such that everything that is tagged with a specific tag is accessible through this link here. So if I click on Common Core, it's going to take me to, if it ever loads, search results for hashtag Common Core. And this way I can see what everybody's talking about related to Common Core. And this is a very active hashtag. You can see somebody posted 20 minutes ago, somebody posted 22 minutes ago, 24 minutes ago. And so this allows me to see what is going on right now on Twitter that has to do with Common Core. And so that's really the great thing about hashtags, is that it opens us up, it exposes what we say, our message, to everybody who clicks on or follows a hashtag that we use. So anybody who's curious about Common Core and goes to search through Common Core will find whatever's been tagged with Common Core. It's just a great way to connect with people who are talking about, people in organizations who are talking about and working with the same things that you're working with. Here's some of the popular hashtags right now. Valentine's Day, we can click on that and see what people are talking about Valentine's Day. You can see these are tweets from everybody, people we don't even follow, everybody on Twitter who has used the tag Valentine's Day. So I hope that hashtags are not such an abstract concept to you. Again, if you have any immediate questions, please feel free to send them in. And we'll talk more about hashtags here in a minute when we talk about our Twitter storm, because that's going to be a really important part of our Twitter storm. But here to practice using hashtags, and I'll try to practice several of the tweeting things we've learned here. So what I'm going to do is say, I'm going to make a post and say, I heart AAUW because they advocate for women and girls. And I'm going to tag AAUW Tennessee. I'm going to tag AAUW Nashville. I'm going to tag AAUW Murfreesboro, So all these people, when they log in, they'll see a notification up here, or all these organizations will see a notification up here that I've made a message and included them in my message. And then I'll also include hashtag. We'll say, let's see, equal pay and feminism. You know, just for, that's not how you spell that. Just for examples. And now we have a tweet that includes 3 tags of people and 2 hashtags. And you can tell the difference between them is this @ symbol and this pound symbol. We'll go ahead and we'll tweet that. Oh, Anne-Loi asked, what is the symbol that I typed in that tweet? Here, let's go back to it so I can show you. I'm sorry that that was confusing. This is just a heart. It's just, if you can see, it's supposed to look like a heart. It says, I heart AAUW. That's all it is. I'm sorry if that was confusing. That's not, it doesn't, that's not a technical thing. That is just for looks. Okay, so that's about it for really the basics of Twitter, which is what I wanted to get into in this webinar. We've gone through how to create an account, how to find the people you want to follow, and how to make all the basic types of tweets, retweets, texts, links, pictures, hashtags, all of that. And see, it's real time. It shows up and you click it, and you know, it's just very fast paced. They say the average lifespan of a tweet is an hour, because things just go by so quickly. And let me scroll through here. A lot of interesting stuff. All right, so there's just one more thing that I wanted to go over before we start talking about the Twitter storm. Make sure I don't have any new questions. Okay. And this is something that Rachel Wright from AAUW Nashville asked me to go over because she found it so helpful, and I find it really helpful too. There's a great opportunity for you to hook up your Facebook and your Twitter. And I've done this with the AAUW Murfreesboro account because, you know, I have other people on, there are other people helping with the AAUW Murfreesboro Facebook. And so people post on there, several different people will post on there, and it gets updated fairly regularly. And so what I've done is connected them so that whenever somebody posts on the AAUW Murfreesboro Facebook, it'll automatically go to the AAUW Murfreesboro Twitter. And it just really helps me to keep up the account without having to be on Twitter all day tweeting. And so it's really great if you're thinking about starting up a Twitter for your branch. I think that that would be a great resource. Or even if you're just doing your own personal Twitter and you want to connect the two, that's an option for you. And so I want to show you how to do that. And this is a little bit more of an advanced technique. But you can follow along. Again, I will send out a summary. I'll send out the recording. Look, 3 new tweets just in that time span. So what we're going to do first is we'll go to Facebook. And what you want to do here is you just go to www.facebook.com/Twitter. It's that simple. And this will take you to a page. Let's see, Facebook to Twitter. Oops, here, I don't want to do. This is from when I was practicing earlier. So this is what it should look like. You probably won't see all of this because that's for one of the pages that I manage. But it'll come up and it'll have your name here for your page. Let's see, I don't want to be unlinked. Okay. this is what it should look like. It'll say link to Twitter, and you'll click that. And it'll bring you to this page. It says, you're about to authorize your first app. And do you want to authorize Facebook to use your account? It'll let Facebook read your tweets, see who you follow, update your profile, and post tweets for you. It will not be able to see your password or access your personal messages. And so we'll go ahead and click authorize. Okay. And so now my Facebook profile is linked to Twitter at the AAUW-TN webinar. And so just to practice and show you how this works, I'm going to come back to my Facebook main page, and I'm going to type just a quick status update. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. I'm sorry, my computer's being really slow. On the AAUW Twitter webinar. And we'll just post this. I'm sure it'll confuse some of my Facebook friends, but it's all right. So it posted on my Facebook. It posted public. That's important. Twitter will only share your public posts. And if I go back to my Twitter, I'm betting this is it. Nope, it's not it. I should see. Check it out. There it is. This is the post that I just made on Facebook, but here it is also on Twitter. And so that's just step one. What we just did connects Facebook to Twitter, but we can also connect Twitter to Facebook so that everything we post on Twitter will also show up on the Facebook. And so what we need to do there is use, as we went to Facebook before, now what we're going to do is go through Twitter. And we'll go to our little icon here, our little profile picture, and we'll scroll down to settings. We'll click on settings. And there's a lot that you can mess with here under settings. You can change your username, your time zone. Just look at all this. There's all sorts of things, more advanced things than what we're going to go through today. But what we want to do to link our Facebook is go down to apps. We'll click apps. No. Oh, goodness, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, pretend I didn't do that. See, this is Facebook by Facebook, and that is what I just gave it access to do via Facebook. But if I want to connect it so that my tweets show up on Facebook, I'll have to click this Connect to Facebook button right here. It's a little bit confusing how there's just two Facebook logos there. I'm just going to say log in with Facebook. Twitter will receive the following info: your public profile, friend list, and birthday. Much like before it said Facebook wants your Twitter information, now it's saying Twitter wants your Facebook information. We'll say OK. OK. Your account is now connected to Facebook. So it allows Twitter to post retweets to Facebook and post to my, oops, I don't want to see stuff like that. So, and replies and direct messages will not be posted. So again, it's trying to protect your privacy there a little bit. We'll go back here, say thanks again. Oh, that's the search bar. See, even I make mistakes. Bring up the Twitter, bring up the tweet button, compose new tweet, and we'll say thanks again. And tweet that. And now what we should see back on Facebook, if we refresh, might have to go to my profile actually. Thanks again. So as you can see, what I posted on Facebook went to my Twitter, and what I posted on my Twitter went to my Facebook. And again, I find this really helpful for administering the AAUW accounts, because it sort of just helps fill in the gaps and just make the page more robust with content. And so I hope you found that helpful. I think it's a really great tip for how to get the most out of Twitter. And so that's about all I had to talk about today for instructional how to use Twitter stuff. Again, it's just the very basics and, that one little advanced technique of connecting the Twitter and the Facebook. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Twitter Storm. The Twitter Storm that we're planning will be next Wednesday, February 18th. This Twitter Storm is scheduled around the legislative panel on academic standards that we've organized in Nashville. And so I wanted to show you what a Twitter Storm might look like. And I was lucky that I had a great example. I found a great example today. I have it open here in this other window. Today, there was a press conference about the state standards with some Tennessee college and university leaders. And what they did, attendance did here, is they picked a hashtag that represented this event that they had. And they used here higher ed for TN standards is the hashtag that they used. And so when I go to visit this hashtag, you can see it's here in the search bar. I see all the posts that folks made today about this issue, and specifically surrounding the press conference. And so, this is what it looks like. You have all these different organizations and individuals using this same hashtag, and you'll see that some of them use other hashtags too. See, this said TNED News, TN Ledge. So they're tagging, multiple things, and what ties all these together is this tag, higher ed for TN standards. Some people have posted links. Some people have posted photos of the event. Some people have tagged other organizations in their posts. And this is really just the perfect example of what our Twitter Storm next week should look like. You can see all these posts were made today about this specific event. And again, it's just different organizations, different people rallying around the same idea, using the same hashtag to create a sudden burst in activity around that hashtag, around that issue on Twitter. And it really just looks perfect. I'd like to see us do something very similar to this. And so I hope that that gives you some idea. I can send out the link to this afterward if you'd like to check it out, look at it a little more in depth. But it is just the hashtag higher ed for TN standards, meaning it's, educators and higher education who support the Tennessee state standards. I'd love to see something like this next Wednesday, where those of us who are attending the panel post pictures. Those of us who aren't attending the panel post and say, AAUW supports the standards because they're working. Hashtag Tennessee panel. Here we'll go back in. Oh, it says I'm not logged in. I am logged in. Okay. You might say, AAUW-TN endorses the current state standards because they're working. Let's not go back, right? Hashtag, and we'll decide what hashtag we're going to use, just like they use higher ed for TN standards, but we also have like Common Core state standards and Ledge panel are what we set to use. And so that's what it would kind of look like. It's one example of what it could look like. Again, there's really a lot of variety here. It's a lot of different voices speaking about the same, speaking in support of the same issue, but all doing it, on their own terms and their own voices. And, in different media, we have pictures, we have links to outside articles, we have text. And that's really what I want it to look like. And I apologize, you guys. I have gone on much longer than I intended to, yammering on here. I see I have some, can anyone invent a hashtag? Ann Loy asks. May I suggest a step-by-step exactly what we do to put the storm into effect? Harriet asks. And that's a great question. And I think I'm going to have to think about a good answer to that, because it really is, to put the storm into effect, what needs to happen is that everybody needs to individually make a tweet or retweet, or, hopefully both. You're making your own tweets and retweeting other people about the issue, about the event with this one hashtag that we choose. And we can go into this more. I'm gonna make a note of this question, a step by step of exactly what we do to put the storm into effect. But Ann Loy asks, can anyone invent a hashtag? And do you mean in general? Absolutely, anyone can invent a hashtag at any time. It's really just a matter of, how effective the hashtag is depends on how many people use that hashtag. For example, I was playing around today trying to figure out what hashtags were in use for the state standards. And I found that CCSS, Common Core State Standards, is the most used hashtag. And so if I wanted to talk about the standards, I would probably use this tag, because as you can see, somebody talked about it 12 minutes ago, 46 minutes ago, 51 minutes ago. Although this is in general, it's not about the Tennessee standards. And, in comparison, I searched for, Tennessee standards. Oops, I forgot the tag, hashtag Tennessee standards. And this has only been used a few times. It was used today, a few days ago, back in October, back in September. This has only been used a few times ever. And so this hashtag is not a great way to connect with others, because there just aren't a lot of people connecting over this hashtag. So yes, anybody can invent a hashtag. And it really just, but they're more effective the more people use them. Okay. But CC is a bad word, Ann Loy says, in Tennessee. I absolutely understand, and that was my first thought too. When I saw that, I thought, we don't want to call them Common Core. People don't want to call it Common Core. So really, maybe we need a new tag. Maybe what it takes is AAUW as an organization starting to use this tag instead, hashtag Tennessee Standards. And maybe that can help us move away from, the CCSS tag. Maybe it'll inspire other organizations like SCORE, who follows AAUW Tennessee, to start using that tag instead. Because I do agree, it's a little problematic that the tag that's used most often is contains the words Common Core when we're really trying to move away from that. Another tag that's very frequently used is TN Ed, TN Education. This is a very popular tag, a great tag, but it's not specifically about the standards, but it is about Tennessee education. And this is a great tag. One that I saw used today when I was looking for what people are using is hashtag Teachers Know Best. And I think this is a great tag. If any of you are educators, it would be great for you to be tweeting about the standards and hashtagging Twitter Knows Best, or Teachers Know Best, sorry. I think that's really great, really strong. It's, used less frequently than Common Core State Standards. This is a tag, but still, we have people using it every day, every other day. Karen Coleman asks, is Twitter better used on my computer or on my smartphone for the Twitter storm? And this is a great question. You can use Twitter either way. Personally, because I'm going to be at the event, I'm going to be at the panel, I'm going to be tweeting from my smartphone. I'm going to be, taking photos with my smartphone and uploading them and tagging them right from the palm of my hand in real time. But if you are at home during the Twitter storm, it's perfectly fine for you to use your computer. It's also perfectly fine for you to use your smartphone. It's really just a matter of preference. If I'm at home, if I'm not, on the go, I prefer to use my computer because it's just easier to work with. My computer's a little faster than my phone is, and the screen's larger, but it's a matter of preference. Anloy asked, does it matter about capitals versus all lowercase for the hashtags? And it does not matter. I'll show you here real quick. Teachers know best. If I type teachers know best and all lowercase, it's going to come up with the same thing. It does not matter. And Anloy asks how to load Twitter on phone. And now this is something I can't show you on the screen because you're connected to my computer screen, not my phone. But what you'll do is you'll have to download the Twitter app. And if any of you are interested in doing this, please send me a note. I think once the webinar is over, you'll get a little survey link, and there's a spot for comments and questions. If you want some help walking you through exactly how to put it on your phone, please put that in the comment section, and I can do that individually. Because how it's done depends on what type of phone you have, but really you just go to your app store, whether it's the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and you just download Twitter and then log in from there. So thank you all for the great questions. I did want to know if anybody had any suggestions for a hashtag that we might want to use for our Twitter storm on the 18th. Much like this group of people used, oh, see, now I've gone from it, but higher ed for TN standards. And this is specifically about their event, everybody coming together, and it follows right nicely under this hashtag searchable. We should have a unique tag that we use for this Twitter storm. And I wanted to know if anybody had any suggestions on what that tag might be. As Anne Loy said, Common Core is a bad word. We probably don't want to, a bad word, we don't want to maybe include that. But people are talking about it. Here's right here, Common Core. It's a commonly used hashtag. But we want to have something that's unique to us. And I thought about, some possibilities like, maybe, TN Ledge panel. And that's not necessarily unique to us is the problem, that somebody could have another legislative panel in Tennessee and decide to use that tag. I think I looked it up and nobody was using it right now, but that doesn't mean they won't. Or we could do, TN Ledge panel 15, something like that. Or TN panel on state standards. And that one I'm partial to. I think I'd like that one. Maybe like February 18th, state standards panel. Something like this. But I'm having trouble coming up with one that I like and that I think is both concise and descriptive and unique. So I just want to know if anybody had any suggestions about what our hashtag might be. Are there any of these that I've suggested that you particularly like or don't like? All right, Peggy Swan tells me she's looking at the panel description, which is a very clever. And we can talk about this more as it, like, we don't need to make a decision tonight. I will make sure that we send out an email with, a reminder about the Twitter storm and to talk about the hashtags that we're going to use before the day of the panel. So analyze suggest TN Legis panel state standards 15, which includes, all vital information. So really, Anne-Loy's thinking something along these lines. I had thought about, we have the panel titled, "What does the future hold?" And I think, like, that looks great. If you type it up, "What does the future hold?" Like, that looks like a really cool hashtag, right? But if I click on it, it goes to, people talking about palmistry and tarot cards and stuff. So I don't think that's, maybe "What does the future hold?" 15. Or "What does the future hold for TN state standards?" But that's just too many. That's just too long an acronym. So we can talk about this more. And I will get an email out with, the hashtags that we're going to use and sort of a recap of what we're going to expect during the Twitter storm. And I do want to think some more about what Harriet said about a step-by-step of exactly what we do to put the Twitter storm into effect. I'm going to think more about that, and I'll try to get an email out to try to answer that question, because I think it's a great question that I just don't have time to answer right now. But again, I'm sorry I went on a little longer with the instructions than I expected to. I thought we'd have that over in like half an hour and have time for question and answers. But if you have any questions, please send them in now, and I'll get them answered real quick before we get off the line. And if you have any questions that you don't have time to address today, email them to me. Put them, again, there's going to be a survey when the webinar is over. You should get a survey with a place for you to type in any additional questions or comments that you have. Okay, I'm not getting any additional questions. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that it was informative. It's my first ever time hosting a webinar. So thank you for sticking with me, even through my computer being slow and me clicking on the wrong things. It happens, we all make mistakes. But I hope that it's been informative. Again, there should be a survey going out for any questions or comments you have. You can always get in touch with me, rachel4lines@gmail.com, anytime for any questions. Oh, here we go. We have, thanks. Excellent webinar. So thank you guys so much. And I hope you have a great night. I'm going to log off now. And again, let me know